Hi everyone, it's Rachel from Sweet and Simple Home. Thanks so much for coming by my channel today. I'm really excited because I'm going to be doing some DIYs, getting some decor made and ready to use to decorate my house for Christmas. All of the DIYs I'm going to share are very simple, low skill required, low budget required, very easy to do, and you probably have everything you would need to do similar things in your home on hand. So let's get crafting and make some beautiful things for Christmas. So the first DIYs I'm going to share are so simple. All you need are some ribbons and some little berry or evergreen picks and whatever decor you already have on hand that you would like to make look festive for Christmas. So I'm going to use my cake plate and some books. I pulled out this bag of Christmas picks from my stash. These are picks that I have collected over the many years of decorating for Christmas. I'm using only what I already have. The same with the ribbons. I have collected some from estate sales and various leftovers from last year, and of course a pair of scissors. That's all you're going to need. And so this red one that I'm using for this first project I got on Amazon for less than $5. I'll link to it if you like this. It comes in a few different shades of red, but I really like a nice bright red for the Christmas kitchen. So I just cut it to the length that I was wanting and picked out a pick that I wanted to add to this, and I wrapped the ribbon around that little top knob of the cake plate. And I made my ribbon nice and long. I feel like long ribbons are kind of in right now, plus I love that look where it kind of drapes down. I fiddled around with where I wanted the placement of the pick to be, and then simply added it within the knot of the bow. And I let the ribbon sort of dangle down, and I can totally picture this full of Christmas cookies or even full of Christmas ornaments. If you're not wanting to, have baked goods out, I can see this being a really sweet spot to display decor or goodies. Next, I grabbed some green books off my bookshelf, and for fall I had these tied with a leather ribbon, and so this gave me the idea to switch it up for Christmas. I pulled them out and I'm having them stand up, and I'm wrapping the ribbon around them and sort of like hugging them with this ribbon. I chose a ribbon that has wire edging so that the bow, when I fiddle with it, will hold its shape. Then I grabbed a pair of scissors and I cut up at an angle with the ribbon folded to create that nice little V shape at the bottom. It looks really nice. I picked out a berry pick to add, and then I thought it could use a little bit more, so I grabbed some evergreen picks as well. These evergreen picks are just from the Dollar Tree. They're super inexpensive, and I think just make it look a little special for Christmas. So I really like an academic sort of classical look at Christmas. A lot of plaids, a lot of vintage ornaments, stacks of books, and cozy blankets, things like that. I'm making this fit my style, but you could easily switch out the colors of the ribbon and the colors of the books that you chose and use these same concepts and make it fit your own decorating style, which is why I like these types of DIYs. So next I chose 3 books in red and green with a little bit of gold on them. They're so gorgeous together. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack them on top of a ribbon like this. I left a loop at the top and then have a couple feet of ribbon hanging at the bottom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up those long ribbon lengths and actually loop them through that loop I have the books stacked upon. This just takes a little bit of fussing about as you arrange it and pull that ribbon nice and tight. And I just made a nice double knot at the top to hold that stack in place. You can see how the double ribbon kind of makes this nice little V-shaped, almost like it's a package all wrapped up. Once I had that situated, I tied a simple bow, and I really wanted this to have a full look, so I went ahead and did a double bow, and I just literally picked up the remaining ribbon and tied another bow right on top. So that's just the simplest way to do a double bow. And again, used my scissors to create that little V shape at the bottom so it looks nice and finished. And then I added a little berry pick to the top again. I love the way that this looks, very red and green, very classic. I love how all the gold kind of shines in the light. I can imagine candlelight and Christmas tree lights just kind of bouncing off the shiny gold on this and just being a really pretty piece. So with just a little bit of time, it literally took me about 20 minutes to do all 3 of these with filming. I was able to make 3 pieces of Christmas decor with things I already had. This next DIY is making really beautiful snowflake ornaments for your Christmas tree out of toilet paper tubes. I cannot believe it. I've been wanting to try this for so long and it turned out so pretty. So I had paper towel tubes as well. So you just need 3 toilet paper tubes, or you could use 1 paper towel and 1 toilet paper tube. I'm using an old paint sample, and the Mod Podge and glue are optional. And glitter, are optional. And then I just use a regular paintbrush, and then you'll need a glue gun as well. So the most important supply though is a great Christmas movie. This is A Christmas Story Christmas. I checked this out from the library and actually really like it. So I have that playing in the background. And I'm just going to sit here and paint all of these. I would like to make a few of these, but really, if you just want to try making one, you could get through this part much faster. But I literally just painted them white. And the original idea that I saw of these used the toilet paper tube, just the cardboard. I kind of like the idea of them being white, so that's why I painted them. So you could totally skip this step if you wanted to. Once the paint was dry, I simply cut the tube in half, cut it in half, and cut it in half. So you're basically just cutting it into 8 little pieces, but by cutting it in halves, that really helped me just eyeball it and I didn't have to worry about measuring. Then you lay out 6 pieces kind of pointing in towards each other like a star shape, and I used the hot glue to just put a dab on each side and connect it to the one next to it at the very top. I just went around the whole little star shape and did that, ending with the last one getting glue on both sides. And then you have the little basic snowflake shape. Then you take 6 more pieces of the cut toilet paper tube and glue it into the spaces in between each of the points. And then you're going to take 6 more of the pieces of cut toilet paper tube and fold them in half, adding glue into the middle of the half so they hold that sort of heart shape. Then take your glue gun, add a little dab of hot glue to each side of the little bent piece, and stick it inside the inner star shape of the snowflake. And I did this all the way around, tucking them inside, and you have this very intricate looking snowflake when it's all done. Now I added a little bit of Mod Podge to the top and sprinkled glitter over that and let that dry so mine could be a little sparkly, but of course that's just optional. And I think the end result is quite sweet. It looks so much fancier than just something made with toilet paper tubes, and I'm so pleased with it. I love snowflakes on my Christmas tree, so I made 3 of these. Now my last DIY is so simple that I think people forget about how sweet and wonderful it is. And I'm going to show you my hack for this, which is adding snowflakes to your window. I'm going to use white tissue paper. Now I have used regular printer paper, construction paper, coffee filters, and I thought, why not try this with tissue paper? I have a ton of this in my gift wrapping bin, and what's fun about this is because tissue paper is so thin, you can cut several at a time and make enough to cover a whole window in a very short amount of time. So while the paint was waiting to dry on those toilet paper tubes, this was what I was doing to use the time. So I folded 1 sheet of white tissue paper into a sort of rectangle shape. Then I took and folded one of the corners across to where it touched the opposite side. And this is how you're going to get a perfect square. So you take your scissors and you'll just cut off that excess bit there. That's the part that you don't need. So once you have that cut off, you have a perfect square. You fold that square in half and then bring 2 of the corners together, so you're basically folding it in half again. Crease really nicely, and that will help, the snowflake hold its shape. Then you're going to fold
each corner of that triangle in, so you're making it fold into thirds. So fold one side in to the middle, and then take that other and fold it over the top and give it a nice crease. Then where everything comes together, that's where you're going to create that nice cone shape. So you cut off all those little like hangy offy parts to make it a nice cone shape. Now you can cut whatever design you'd like, and you'll have a beautiful, round, lovely snowflake. And this is so simple. Kids can do it because this is so thin. It can actually cut so easy. I almost feel like this would be an easier method for little hands. And then when you unfold it, because you use tissue paper, you get 4 at a time instead of just 1. So you can cover more of your window in less time. So that's really fun. And to attach these to the window, I'm just using rolled up Scotch tape. But if you have double-sided tape or little glue dots, that would work too. I just kind of love how the light shines through the tissue paper better than regular copy paper as well. You could also use parchment paper or wax paper for this method, and you could tape them on the outside, or you can do the little rolled up balls. With the scraps, I also cut little circles out of the tissue paper to sort of fill in between the snowflakes. So what I didn't tell you guys is I was trying to do all of this in 2 hours. So in 2 hours time, I was able to create all of these little DIYs to decorate my house for Christmas with, and I did not spend any money. I used all things that I had on hand and was able to use 2 hours of time to make some beautiful things for Christmas. So I hope this is an encouragement to you to get crafting, to put on a movie, and make some fun things for Christmas. Christmas does not have to be expensive. You can use what you have and make your home beautiful.
Thanks so much everyone for watching, for being here today. I hope you will consider subscribing if you haven't yet already. I'd love to have you here at the Sweet and Simple Home. Coming up, I have lots more Christmas and holiday themed videos, so I do hope to see you again very soon. You guys take care, and I'll be back soon. Bye. Happy crafting.